It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers come into this one after the win against Portland. That game was a dominant performance. Always nice to win one going away, but it's just one game, and they'll be ready to go tonight. You know, it seems, fellas, like every time LeBron takes the court, he has a chance to pass another career milestone. When it's all said and done, where do you think he ends up on the NBA's all-time scoring list, Shaq?
Well, it'll be very hard for him to make a run at the top two, Ernie. However, it's never a good idea to doubt LeBron because he's already passed me up in the scoring list, so you can't doubt the guy.
He's got that going for him. How about
Well,
it, Jeff?
you know, man, Ernie, I just think how long he plays. If he plays, 17, 18 years, he's going to be in the top two. But if he stops at about 15 and says, I just want to spend time with my kids, then I don't think so.
That does it for us for now. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
It's the home of the Celtics here in Boston as 2K Sports brings you today's action live. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. With Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. It's a special night because we're sitting alongside former NBA champion, MVP Kevin Garnett. We're so excited to have you here.
How you doing, Kev, man?
I'm doing great. Now that you're here, this is terrific.
Man, it's good to see you, man.
You look at the Cavaliers. They're hoping they can carry over some of that momentum from their undefeated homestand.
And already a chance for them to take the season series against this team. They see them 3 times, and after winning the first one, they've got to be confident that they can do it again.
Yeah, it's often not so easy the second time around. You know your opponent's going to make adjustments. You have to be ready to adjust back. I'd call that readjust.
And David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Well, Kevin, LeBron James does not mind being a vocal leader. He said conflict was just part of the game for me growing up. I played outdoors, and if you didn't win, you might not play again for the rest of the day. Now I'm the leader of this team, and I expect nothing less than greatness out of all of us. I'm going to hold everyone accountable, including myself. Kevin?
And that's so great to hear, D.A. LeBron is a proven leader and champion, as we all know, expects to contend for a championship every year. And, Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change.
Yes.
I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Here's the starting group for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Smith is the 2 with LeBron at the 3. Inside, we got the tenacious Love and Thompson. And it's Hill in at the 1 spot. The drive by Love.
Yeah, you got to get there a little bit quicker to clog up the lane because once Kevin Love sees that gap, he can make his way in there.
The Cavaliers shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one. No good on the free throw.
Think about Kevin Love coming into the NBA as a post player, eventually becoming a player that shot over 500 threes in a season. Now a great floor spacer and very effective rebounder.
Good on the second free throw. On defense, the Cavaliers, fresh from a win against Portland.
And you know what? Up against a weak defense, they were allowed to do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, what I like, though, besides that, is that they just didn't settle for it, because weak defenses, you could take bad shots. That's not what they did here tonight.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Well, you have to be able to trust each other on the defensive end of the floor. Otherwise, the whole thing is just going to crumble.
Now here's Love. He had 10 points in the win against Portland. The dish to Brown. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man, Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about, because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
And here is Irving, following the three-pointer by Kevin Love. From about 19 feet, and too long on the shot.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college. And I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life.
Which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. Can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Celtics trail by 3. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time, I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off or showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God.
But look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
And right now, I think just his demeanor is hurting the team. His shooting's been off, and he knows it.
Now Irving 23 points for him the last game against Brooklyn.
Loved his passing tonight as well. He was just cutting the defense to pieces out there.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Here's Brown, and Thompson sends it back.
Well, Thompson lives in the paint, and defensively, occasionally, you're going to get to shots like that.
Smith. Good work defensively by Horford.
Like the tactics on defense there, refusing to give the shooter the easy layup at the rim.
Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against? Down low, we'll stick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards, and able to laterally slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Free throw good, James. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. You know, just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this. Or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic, because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. Here's Smart following the basket by LeBron James. Morris outside, 6 to shoot. Unloads. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was, mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to
go
accomplish
at it with
something.
gusto, right?
You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not
can you?
at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. And the jam by Larry Nance.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. Terry Rozier taken by the Celtics, 16th pick back in 2015. KG, some were surprised the Celtics had already some defensive-minded combo guards already in Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart, but they took Rozier.
I like him, though. No better guards to learn from, with Smart and Avery. And, man, to pass these Jews down to a young Rozier.
Yes.
Can you imagine, like, progression with this kid and that tenacity? A lot of people don't know he has a little bit of offense to him, too, but naturally defensive, you see the natural ability
That's
right
his
away.
calling card right now, defense.
If I was him, I would lean on that.
So the Celtics call timeout. They're first. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
Sometimes you're going to win because of your performance, and on occasions, which was the case for them, it's the play of your opponent that allows you to escape with wins.
Yeah, they were up against a team that struggled all night to get things under control. Mistakes and turnovers and just sloppy play all game long.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for LeBron. Celtics trail by 11. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Now here's Smart, guarded by Korver. No good off the front iron.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backcourt.
Out to Hood, launches a three, and another three for Cleveland.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Boston's gone, just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. Here's Rozier, covered by Hood. Rozier kicks to Morris. Now here's Smart. T right on him. To end the drought. Hits it from three-point range. Smart's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Cleveland leading by 11. 1:25 left to play in the first. Here's Zizic. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Hood kicks to Clarkson. A three-pointer off the mark. Boston's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. Feeds it to Smart. The 11-footer kept alive. Baines, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to be on Kyle Korver. The Celtics shooting their first free throws of the evening.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one misses. And the second free throw, good. 59 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Clarkson with the ball. He had 13 points in the win against Portland.
And there really was a physical aspect of his performance that was off the charts. He was taking it right at him, and he just kept getting those calls and getting to the line. I mean, even from over here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
The Cavaliers have made 2 and missed 2 at the line tonight.
And they've done some really nice work at the foul line, knocking down 80%.
That free throw, no good. He hits the second from the line. Celtics trail by 11. Now here's Smart. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game. Morris with the bucket. Morris has got his second bucket of the night.
An efficient scorer inside. Morris can beat you with a variety of moves.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Nance a screen. Here's Clarkson. Out to Nance. Takes the three. Clock at 6. Hood for three. That's his 4th basket of the game, and he's only taken 4 shots. Off to a good start.
Man, they are doing some damage from deep.
It is brutal to try and match up on the perimeter with a team that is this hot.
And so it's the Cleveland Cavaliers enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting they've been dialed in so far from the field. Right back after this break. And a chance to hear from LeBron James as he talked about the challenge of remaining calm and collected throughout the ups and downs of the NBA season.
For me, at a younger age, I was never even keel. We would win a playoff game when I was younger. I was excited out of my mind, and then you would lose, and I was the worst person in the world. But I think at this point in my career, I kind of stay even. One game shouldn't affect the next game. You know, you go out and play as hard as you can, live with the results.
Again, just another part of the maturation process for LeBron. He's become such the consummate pro.
He is absolutely as solid and steady as a rock at this point in his career. Nothing rattles him. Nothing throws him off his game.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And looking at what we've seen, Cavaliers pretty much in control here, it would appear.
And boy, I tell you, it didn't take them long to find their rhythm. Strong offense through one.
A nice game plan coming in, and right now sticking to it. It's a nice lead that they have.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court right now for the Celtics, we've got Aaron Baines. Tatum out there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Smart, and it's Rozier in at the point. And here's Hood after Jason Tatum getting his shot to go from deep. Hood drives in, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers.
And he's probably looking at some matchups on the floor he'd like to take advantage of.
I'm interested in what he's seeing and then what kind of play they run coming out of this timeout.
And we'll examine here how the distribution has been between 3-pointers and 2-pointers tonight for the Celtics.
They are shooting the lights out from beyond on really limited attempts. So you have to think they ought to feed those hot hands on the perimeter and see if they can keep this thing going.
And he knocks down the first one. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Guys, Tristan Thompson has one of the longest consecutive games played streaks in NBA history. He said, the mind's a powerful thing, and if you tell your brain everything is all right, you'd be surprised on the stuff you can achieve. We have the mental toughness to push through our limits. That's how you become great and test yourself as a player. Kevin?
Well, David, Thompson certainly a mentally strong player. Always nice to have someone you can rely on night in and night out. So Boston ends up going with a new group. Cleveland also making some changes. Thompson, he's checked in for Zizic. Love comes in for Hood. And it's Hill in for Clarkson. That free throw good from Nance. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does, sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fake and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys, really help that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
And that one falls for Monroe.
Well, Monroe is a low down on the post and one of the better offensive big men because of how versatile he is in the game.
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me, on top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Now here is Hill. After Gordon Hayward's miss, Smith kicks to Korver. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Korver's got himself on the board with 3 there. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute. I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to shoot their way out of the slump, and that didn't work. They got to go back and regroup.
Well, no matter how hard it's been, you want to stay positive, stay focused, and maybe a couple shots will get you right back in it.
And Cleveland making a change here. James is checked in. Kicks it to Hayward. Here's the three. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
Irving against Hill. Monroe left side over Thompson, and Monroe the bucket on the assist by Irving. Irving's got 4 assists now tonight. Kevin, some of the relatively new rules protecting players, the breakaway, the flagrant 1, the flagrant 2. Are you in favor of all this stuff?
I'm in favor for players' health. Anything that is going to be detrimental to a player's health, I feel like, the player's health is the first and only obligation. That's all I've ever worried about. Foul play, I think every player should always understand it's a way to foul. It's a way to be able to, send a message. But in the heat of the moment, I get it. Things happen. But just I hope that all players out there will continue to, to care about and respect the game.
Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big 3, it's the big 4. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look,
you were the original big 3.
It seems like it, eh?
Right. You were the original big 3.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't even know that we were doing that. Right, because LeBron come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's
Miami
the big
after
3
that,
right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing into these different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you think of that?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, I say 20 years from now, when he sits back and he wants to talk to Steph, he wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be 3 greats with him. I'm just talking about those 3 guys there.
Yes.
He's playing with 3 other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with 3 other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
Boston again missing.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Kicks it out to LeBron. In the corner, Smith with it. And it's off from 3-point range. And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, right? But this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with 3 other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
And they've let things get out of hand. Good time to reconvene.
They're just on the wrong end right now of a big run, and they need to plan how they're going to shift the momentum of the game.
Yeah, looking here at some numbers for Smith. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's right around 13 points a night, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And guys, no question, he's a guy with some talent. But honestly, even he'd like to see those numbers improve.
From all the whispers that we've heard, he's been working hard on his game. It just has not showed up yet in the box score.
Monroe, the basket good off the assist from Hayward. Monroe's got 7 points for the quarter.
He didn't score the ball much in the first quarter, but he has been really, really solid during the second quarter. I expect a big game from him now.
Now, here is Smith. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Portland.
And he passed the ball so well in that game, keeping everybody involved, even as he was racking up all those points.
The Cavaliers have made 2/3 of their free throws tonight, 6 of 9 to be exact. And he makes the first.
J.R. Smith is a straight gunner. He's just a guy who wants to shoot every time he touches the ball.
J.R. Smith hits them both.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a one, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo, and nothing speeding them up.
Special players.
Special players, bro. I get a front row seat of seeing that. Ray Allen, the same thing. Had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
That free throw good from Kyrie Irving. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
You can't be frustrated at him tonight. He's doing his job. Like to see his guys step up a little more.
Shoots off the screen, and again LeBron James. LeBron's got 15. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. Yes. Coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times. Or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? Little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. And you know what? that severity, and you play with that importance, and knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So that's important.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Nance a screen. On the wing, Nance passes to James. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. It goes on Jason Tatum.
And LeBron enjoys fooling the D right there, tricked them, got them in the air, and then gets himself to the free throw line.
This is his second trip to the free throw line. That free throw missing.
LeBron James, quite simply, one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, and just impossible for anybody to slow down.
Terry Rozier's checked in for Kyrie Irving. And he sinks the second. Here's Rozier looking for his first basket still in this one. The feed to Baines. To the middle, and stolen by LeBron. Tatum's shot is off.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Oh!
No, that athletic ability there.
See all the responsibilities that LeBron James has. He is their leader. I'd like to see him get it to the open teammate. He does that often.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another unleash chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. Boston, no good that time either.
Been a tough game for the guys around him, mainly because his shot's been hit and miss.
1:11 left in the first half of basketball. Lets it go with a 3. And Baines pulls it down, adding a lot of flavor to the mix. Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. And Brent, it's amazing that our introduction to KG was just this high school kid from Chicago, and before that, from South Carolina. So unrefined, undefined, and now, he has just so much wisdom to impart. He's learned so much. It's wonderful to listen to.
Well, you think about Kevin Garnett, Kevin, and the fact that he played more than half of his life in the NBA. And for a guy like that to pick up some sort of knowledge, to carry it on and to pay it forward, that's the kind of loyalty and enthusiasm that Kevin Garnett always shows for the game of basketball.
And when Marcus Morris gets a defender in a 1-on-1 situation, Greg, he feels the most at home.
And part of that might be from going up against his twin brother all the time when they were young. Marcus Morris has a great knack to find a shot he likes. Terrific with his mid-range.
No good on the second free throw.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
Hood dishes to Korver. Now, here's Clarkson, guarded closer.
Hey, even though he's been off, the team's still winning, so the hope is that he's going to get going.
Boston, no good that time either. The Cavaliers leading by 19 points. Pass to Hood. Nance against Morris. The shot's good from Nance. Nance has got 7 now in this quarter.
And now he's taken a solid opening in the quarter and built on it here in the second.
Here's Rozier. He's covered by Clarkson. Rozier the pass to Morris. And here is Tatum. That one off the back iron and out. Clarkson. No good. Shot missing. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Cavaliers ahead. Running away with this one. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Coach Teron Lue. Coach, what is the focus going to be in the second half?
Just play the right way. Move the ball, share the ball, get stops, and get out and run in transition.
Always leads to good results. Thanks, Teron. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. LeBron James had it going on in the first quarter. He had 16 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Kenny, your thoughts? How are the Cavaliers playing?
Well, we have to talk about the unbelievable job they've done rebounding the basketball. They've sent bodies flying to the boards on every possession. They've been a stronger, quicker, tougher team by a wide margin. And it's that dominance on the glass that's going to win them this game.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
Well, they got a ton of issues to work out. Allow a way too high a percentage to be shot against them. Not really showing any energy on defense. No discipline. Look at their faces, Ernie. Do they even want to be here?
And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
Welcome back to Boston, the buildings of the financial district visible in all their glory. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. What can you say? LeBron James, what an impressive effort today.
And the defense was soft in that first half, and he took advantage every chance he could, and boy, was he throwing it down hard.
Well, it's one thing to drive, but it's another thing to drive and dunk. So let's see if he can keep that going here in the third.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Checking out the group for Tyronn Lue to start the second half. Inside, we got the tenacious Love and Thompson. Smith is the 2 with LeBron at the 3, and it's Hill in at the point guard position. Thompson with the bucket.
Not going to see that often, but Thompson outside of the paint collects 2 more.
Now Irving. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to go on Tristan Thompson.
While some are still speculating as to why Kyrie wanted out, the reality is, and it's this case with all great players, he feels like he's good enough to be the man on a team that can contend for a championship. And you might question how he went about it, but he's basically been a pro in his approach, and now he's got the chance.
That free throw good from Kyrie Irving.
And there is going to be a lot of discussion over Irving's decision to want out for a long time. And what he does the next few years may end up defining his legacy. He is all in on himself, and it could pay off huge or fizzle out.
And so Irving nails both of them. Hey, Brady, you and I were talking about the toughest players in the league just a minute ago. It's easy to go right to physical attributes, but let's shift it. And who are some of the toughest guys mentally in the game now?
Well, those guys who are thinking out there on the floor, not only about what they have to do, Kevin, but getting their guys lined up and into right spots. I think that Marc Gasol does an incredible job of that in Memphis, especially as the center, knowing all the coverages, backing up the line of defense on pick and rolls, rebounding, outletting, scoring. That's a lot of work for a big guy. And the elite guys that we could talk about, Kev, Chris Paul and LeBron James. I mean, how good are those guys when it comes down to making sure that things are communicated between the coach and that all 5 guys know their responsibilities on the floor?
Yeah, but if it can come from the back end, like you said with Gasol, what about a guy like DeAndre Jordan, who I think has really tried to improve that part of his game?
I think there's a lot more appreciation for how much DeAndre Jordan does, especially the way that he contributed to the USA team.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
It's back to Hill. Pass to James. Lobbed up there for Thompson. Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
Well, with Tristan's motor and that kind of reach, great job on finishing off the alley-oop.
It was beautiful the first time, but Under Armour showing us the replay of that tremendous alley-oop again. Another unleash chaos moment. Irving with it. He's picked up by Hill. Hayward goes in. Horford has a wide open look. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
And they've only connected on 1 of 4 to start the half. Their offense is sputtering just a little bit here.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And Tristan Thompson in the middle, a player, Greg, who understands his role.
He just plays hard and does the little things. Defense, rebounding, energy. When he's blocking shots and protecting the rim, he is one of the best bigs in our league.
Boston's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Picked by Horford. Here's Irving. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
You don't want to give Kyrie too much space. An inch, that might be too much.
Pick up by Hill. LeBron kicks to Hill. And Boston with the rebound.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The Cavaliers leading by 21. James with it, guarded now by Irving. Here's Hill. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
And the Pacers trading away the coveted George Hill. Going into last season, they wanted more of a passer at the point guard position.
And that's the one thing about Hill. He's more of a combo guard than a true point. He keeps his turnovers low. But as far as creating a ton of shots for his teammates, that's not really his game.
And that one misses. Brent, when we look at some of the classic rivalries between teams, they don't always look as emotionally charged nowadays. Is there a way you think to get that back?
Well, the first thing I do, Kevin, is not try to manufacture anything. The second thing I would avoid is please don't bring up the Lakers-Celtics rivalries in the 80s. And the last thing I would make you conscious of is the fact that, look, players are moving around so often that it's hard to get years and years of the same matchup with the same guys on the roster. Now, look, accept the competition for what it is, and if we get another one where teams are facing one another more often, then let's enjoy it for what it is.
And so it's Cleveland with it. James with it. Now defended by Hayward. Hill against Irving. Hill dishes to Thompson. Here's Smith. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. And that's now 9 points for Smith.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Outside Irving. He feeds it to Monroe. The kick out to Irving. Hands it from downtown. Irving's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Well, the defense very attentive to him in the first quarter, but he's finally gotten loose in the second and making them pay.
Here's James and the dunk by LeBron.
And I would say look out. Right now, LeBron James is locked in.
Here's Brown. He gives his team some nice contributions, averaging a bit over 10 points a game. Monroe, the pass to Irving. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
You know, he has single-handedly helped them carve into this lead thanks to his scoring in the quarter.
Hill kicks to James. It's a pick by Love. James dishes to Love. Goes back up. Count that bucket. Love's got 11 points.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Irving. Basket counts.
How about the craftiness from Kyrie on the inside? Knows how to get to the spot in the paint and then find just enough daylight to score.
Hayward against LeBron. It's a pick by Love. Oh, and the jam by LeBron.
Never get tired of LeBron James in the air doing wonderful things.
Boston's gone 2 of 5 with the three-point shot since coming out of the break. Irving passes to Hayward. Horford with the screen on Love. Here's Hayward. The shot comes out. Cavaliers go the other way with it. Last time they met in Cleveland.
Yeah, really ratcheted up the pressure in their last matchup, getting steals and just creating havoc defensively.
The turnover margin was well within their favor, and you have to point to that ferocious D they played as the biggest factor in that win.
And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Just a little lackluster so far with his effort. He's been very limited due to his poor shooting.
The shot's good from Smith.
J.R. Smith has a quick release and can shoot it from deep, but that time a nice job off the pass.
Now here is Irving. He's got 24. He kicks to Horford. Irving against Hill. Just 5 to shoot. On its way from Hayward for 2. Knocks down the step back J. Hayward's got 4 this quarter.
And that's a great piece of work to get to the hoop there. Just tore the D to shreds.
Timeout called the Cavaliers.
And there had been a will he or won't he feeling with Gordon Hayward's free agency. Tough choice, I got to believe, for him to leave Utah, but you can see why he wanted to join forces here with the Celtics.
So Boston ends up going with a new group. A different look now for Cleveland. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for the Cavaliers.
And you look at the chart and you see they have done a lot of their damage in the mid-range game. So often teams will try to force everything at the hoop or only rely on the 3 to score, but they have seen what the defense is giving them and taken every open look they found.
Korver, good. And Boston was the heavy favorite to sign Gordon Hayward, and ultimately the opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
And he's reunited with his college coach, Brad Stevens. This team has a great path to make a deep playoff run, and this just adds another star to a very balanced roster. And how about Tatum there, using his muscle, easily absorbing the contact and still able to knock down the shot.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
One shot.
And that one falls for Tatum. Brent, the last team you played for, the Houston Rockets. Your dad, your older brother John, also played for the Rockets. What's this connection between the city of Houston and the Barry family?
I've asked them that same question in Houston, and I even talked to Daryl Morey about putting a Barry graveyard across the street where it is that all 3 of us, our career had ended. I'd love to see a tombstone over there with Rick, John, and Brent.
Well, it'd be...
Maybe we'll add a few more to it, Kevin.
Well, the way you played there, the way you played your career, and your family played, obviously you've set a standard in the league. But that was an interesting stop that you all were there at one time.
I think it's crazy that we all ended in Houston. No,
yeah,
it's weird.
It is.
3 careers ending with one organization.
Isn't that something?
Weird.
And how about the 46th pick back in the 14 draft? Jordan Clarkson has certainly exceeded expectations thus far in his career. An athletic combo guard, he's really succeeded playing at both the 1 and 2.
And the first one drops. And Greg, Jordan Clarkson, he has an offensive game, doesn't he?
He's able to shoot with range, and he can attack off the bounce as well. I think that enables him to kind of play on or off the ball. And I think he has a chance to be a really good two-way player in our league.
He's perfect from the line this time. The Celtics have gone 7 for 16 in the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. Now here's Smart, guarded by Korver. Smart kicks to Morris. Again, the miss by Morris.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
Korver, good.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Here's Rozier. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. There's the pick. Here's Morris. Again, the miss by Morris.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Oh, man, he'd love to have that one back. He just does everything right, but doesn't get the finish.
Now here's Korver. He's got 8. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And the Celtics gave up 4 players to get 1 in Kyrie Irving, but they already had so much depth. They could afford to sacrifice a bit for a superstar just entering his prime.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
First one falls for him.
And really for the Celtics, just a wealth of assets, but in reality, only so much playing time to go around. Sooner or later, you knew they'd make a move, and I think they got the best player in the trade.
Both free throws good from Korver.
And the veteran Korver, one of the deadliest outside shooters of all time.
Here's Rozier. He's covered by Clarkson. Again, the miss by Morris.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing on target.
It's tipped. Goes back up. Nance, no good.
And that's just good offense. Surprised he blew that one, and the defense is too.
Can they get it? And there's the bucket from Tatum. Tatum's got 5 points now this quarter.
How about the speed with which Tatum gets down the court? Awesome at reading the defense and then exploiting the opportunity in the open floor.
Korver passes to Zizic. He dishes it to Clarkson. In the corner, Nance with it. Nance with another miss. Celtics shooting down near the 40% mark since halftime. They've been slow getting going. And it's good, 2 points.
Out quickly, then the beautiful execution. You can't do it any better.
Well, there's running the floor, and then there's running the floor with purpose. And I love the energy on this play.
Outside Hood, and there's the pass to Zizic. Dishes to Korver. And the 3 off target. Here's Boston now. And Jordan Clarkson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. Here's Rozier. He's covered by Clarkson, but they recover it. Here's Baines. Lays it up and banks it in. Baines has got his second bucket tonight.
Bucket earned, out muscling and out hustling everybody for the rebound.
Nance a screen. Passes it to Zizic. Put on the wing. He's got 12. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Hood's got 14 points.
Well, the defense looking at him like a Rubik's Cube. They cannot figure him out. He continues to light them up from the field. More importantly, they're winning.
Here's Rozier looking for his first basket still in this one. And Smart with the basket on the assist by Morris.
Well, the defense hanging around, but not aggressive enough. He dropped the finger roll right over top.
Now here's Korver. He's guarded closely. They set the pick. Here's Nance. And he connects on the jumper. The screen did the trick. He's got 11.
Outstanding job by Korver in how he swings the pass over to the most open man on the court.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Cavaliers on top, delivering the blowout. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us. Now let's listen into the huddle of Brad Stevens.
Pace of play is a big part of tonight, okay? Make sure on the bench when we come back, we lift it.
One of the team's great young teachers, Brad Stevens, wanting his guys to control the tempo.
Yeah, and he feels if they push it, if they attack intelligently, it's going to be to their advantage.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the 4th quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Rozier's out there with Larkin. Then it's Marcus Morris, and it's Yabusele in at the 4 slot. That's the Boston 5. Just 3 to shoot. Here's Rozier. Yabusele, that one, no good. Cleveland's gotten the 3-point shot off 16 times tonight. 7 times they've hit it, 9 times they've missed. And pushing it up, here's Boston. Got it. Good job in the low post. Larkin's got the first field goal of the 4th quarter here for Boston. And here are the Cavaliers. They get to take on the Magic at Orlando after this one. And that game will be game 2 of 5 out on the road. Here's Green. Morris with the rebound. The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the 4th quarter. Nice shot by Larkin.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Cleveland leading by 23. Pass to Zizic. Outside Korver, the dish to Green. They get a hand on it. The rebound by the Celtics. To the inside. Now here's Calderon. Tight defense on him. Osman. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse.
Oh, terrific way to finish that move there, going to the basket.
And so it's Boston with it. A great 4th quarter, just giving up 2 points. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the 4th. And it's Rozier missing.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Now here's Calderon. 17-foot shot on the way. Outside Korver. Cleveland moving the ball around. 4th quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Now here's Calderon. Defense is right there, and the shot goes in.
You got to still pay attention to Jose Calderon in the mid-range. He has a nice soft touch from that distance.
Larkin kicks to Morris. The 3. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. Zizic has got 11 rebounds in the game. Morris into the lane. Here's Larkin. He's guarded by Calderon. Hey, Brent, in other sports, later draft picks often become all-star level players. That seems to be much more rare in the NBA. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure, Kevin, and there are a lot of great finds for NBA teams in the second round and even late into the second round as guys who make solid contributions not only to their team right away because they might be more mature players that are passed over because the young guys show potential. I think that scouts do a great job of finding that rare talent. Maybe they're selected a little bit more early than they would be in previous drafts. There's much more information out there for GMs to get at.
Now here's Calderon following the miss by Marcus Morris. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
And the Cavs' big three completed with the trade of #1 overall pick Andrew Wiggins to Minnesota for Kevin Love. Brent, if they had to do it all over again, you still think they make that trade?
Absolutely, Kevin. They brought a championship to Cleveland, a drought of 54 years, and Kevin Love was a big reason why they got to the top of the mountain. So I would absolutely make that trade.
That's good from Calderon.
And good job bringing that free throw percentage up here in the second half. Doing a great job at the line.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Kept alive. Here's Hayward, and it's in there.
And he's showing signs now of life after going scoreless through the half.
The Cavaliers have gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Thompson, a screen on Irving, and it's Smith penetrating, misses the layup. Boston's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Here's Larkin. Offensive rebound. Goes back up. The shot misses. Cleveland's gotten the three-point shot off 16 times tonight. 7 times they've hit it. 9 times they've missed. Calderon with it. Back to Green. 6 to shoot. For 3, Smith. Again, the miss by Smith.
Well, the D looks like they're laying off just a little bit. He made 1 3 in the first half, but they're still daring him to shoot, and he can't make him pay for it.
Yeah, the onslaught continues. He's been unstoppable now for a couple of nights.
Well, a tip of the cap to the coaching staff here. They're recognizing how well he's playing, so the game plan has been built around him.
Thompson sets the pick for Calderon. In the corner, Smith with it. Count it, number 5 from the floor this game. He's now 5 of 11.
Yeah, maybe the shot selection in the first half took him out of a rhythm, but in the second half, he's making everything.
Hayward, left side. There's the screen. Feeds it to Larkin. Kicks it to Irving from deep. The shot, no good. And it's the Cavaliers taking it the other way. Osman, defended by Hayward. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Here's Larkin. Hey, Brent, with the size and speed of NBA athletes, could we see the court widened out at some point, whether it's the lane or even the boundaries widen?
That's a great question, Kevin. I often thought that the league should widen the court to the point where the 23-9 three-point line should be an exact semicircle.
Is the same, yes.
Which would extend the court another couple feet on each end and create more space, more driving opportunities, more room to watch the greatest athletes in the world do what they do best. That's run, jump, pass, and entertain us. So, yes, sir.
There's your run out. Great individual play.
Yeah, beats the transition defense up the floor, and then the easy finish. Boy, those feel good.
The screen from Thompson. Green kicks to Thompson. Now the feed to Calderon. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Brent, when you played, you were able to score in a variety of ways. Which do you think you were better at, shooting off the catch or off the dribble?
There's no doubt that shooting off the catch, Kevin, was much easier for me. I love the fact that I could get my feet set, start to anticipate when the ball was coming, who the ball was coming from, and then establish my own rhythm for each of those opportunities to cast away at the rim.
I would think, though, you get rhythm by working off the dribble, too.
Take a break.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be able to do that, but I oftentimes use that dribble to maybe create another opportunity for a teammate. And then the other idea, Kevin, is if you're a great catch-and-shoot player, the pump fake and one dribble in, that's something you have to perfect to keep the defense honest in terms of their closeouts.
And the Celtics leadership, very pragmatic. IT and Crowder both beloved in Boston, but they didn't hesitate to move them to get better and younger at the same time.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Boston. Tatum comes in for Shane Larkin. And Calderon drops them both.
And thinking about the Celtics' choice to get younger, perhaps a strategic move in response to the super team in Golden State, they want to construct their team to peak in a few years when the Warriors start to show a little chink in the armor moving forward.
That was some very intimidating, aggressive defense that really helped alter that shot.
Here's Tatum. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got 5 assists in the game.
And Kyrie being unselfish, I think there was an opportunity for him to score there, but gets off the clean look for his teammate.
Now here's Calderon. He's tightly guarded. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. The shot by Clarkson, no good. Boston's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Hayward from outside. The rebound by Nance.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
To the left wing, Calderon for 3. The rebound by the Celtics. Irving's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Lets it fly. Tatum's shot is off.
And that's really a function of the offense not working as it should.
Yeah, maybe lazy play calling or just going through the motions on that possession. This often leads to a bad shot.
Cleveland moving the ball around. Nance, no good.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
Now here's Tatum. He's covered by Clarkson. Pass to Hayward. And Hayward at the stuff.
How about that floor awareness there from Tatum? It does a good job of scanning the court and getting the ball to the open man.
Clarkson kicks to Thompson. Smith dishes to Nance. Lays it in without an inch of room around him.
Yeah, he is sneaky at the rim, lays it in against heavy pressure.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Here's Irving. From 16 feet away, he cans it. Irving's got 16 points here in the second half.
Kyrie made enough room to get the shot off there. The in-between game right now he's showing off is precise.
Nance a screen. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Oh, and here we go. Irving's got it. The fast break chance. No good from Yabusele. The Cavaliers shooting certainly a key for them in this one. 55% from the field. Calderon kicks to Smith. Nance outside. Clock at 4. He feeds it to Clarkson. And stolen by Kyrie Irving.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Cavaliers.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And now on the year, this will take them to 28 wins.
And in a 3-game season series, they take the first 2, and certainly they've had the edge in this matchup.
And something we've come to almost expect is greatness from this guy. Such an overall great performance it was for LeBron.
That unselfishness was on full display here tonight. Did a great job of getting his teammates going.
Calderon in the corner. Pulls it up. That's short off the rim. There's 38 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's stolen by Calderon. And now Clarkson pushing it up. No one back to the...
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, when you're the visiting team, it can be hard to maintain focus, but not tonight.
Tonight they have stuck with what they do well, handling all the exterior pressure, and they're likely to come out on top here.
Baines passes to Yabusele. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
This is where you want the shots to come from, deep inside the paint and high percentage opportunities.
Irving against Clarkson. And so it's Cleveland taking care of business in this one. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, LeBron, congrats on the win. What do you think made the difference tonight?
Defense. We made our mark defensively. We understand that for the long term, we have to defend at a high level. We've been doing that.
It does start at that end, LeBron. Congrats again. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long.